Welcome, brave souls, to Valhalla, the legendary hall where only the mightiest Viking warriors dwell. I am your guide on this journey into the heart of Norse mythology, where heroes are immortalized and legends are born. Prepare to embark on an epic adventure as we explore the grandeur and mystery of Valhalla, the Viking Hall of Heroes. Our story begins in the mists of time, where the bravest of Viking warriors fought and died, seeking an eternal reward. Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain, is ruled by the Allfather, Odin, the chief god of Norse mythology. Here, Odin gathers his chosen warriors, brought to him by the fierce and beautiful Valkyries. These maidens of war sweep across the battlefield, selecting the bravest souls to ascend to Valhalla, where they will live forever in glory. In Valhalla, the chosen are known as the Einherjar. These warriors are not just remembered, they are celebrated, feasting and fighting every day until the end of time. But what is it about Valhalla that makes it the ultimate warrior's paradise? Let's step inside and see for ourselves. Imagine a hall so grand, its roof is made of shimmering gold, and within, 540 doors, each wide enough to allow 800 warriors to pass through side by side. This is Valhalla, where the Einherjar prepare for the ultimate battle at the end of days, Ragnarok. The hall itself is a marvel of divine architecture, designed to accommodate thousands of warriors. The walls are adorned with shields and the rafters with spears, symbols of the endless battles fought within. But Valhalla is more than just a place of battle. It is a hall of celebration, a sanctuary where warriors find camaraderie and honor. The echoes of laughter and the clinking of mead horns resonate through its grand corridors, reminding us that even in death, the Vikings found joy and companionship. In Valhalla, every day is a celebration of courage and strength. Warriors feast on the resurrected boar, Saehrimnir, and drink mead from the udder of the goat Heidrun. Each morning, they engage in glorious battles, honing their skills for Ragnarok. By evening, their wounds are healed, and they gather again to feast and revel. The battles fought in Valhalla are not of anger or hatred, but of respect and honor. Each clash of swords and shields is a tribute to their past lives, a testament to their enduring spirit. And after the battle, the hall transforms into a grand banquet, where tales of heroism are shared, and the bonds of brotherhood are strengthened. Among the honored in Valhalla are legends such as Ragnar Lothbrok, Bjorn Ironside, and Sigurd the Dragon Slayer. These heroes earned their place through extraordinary feats of bravery and skill, forever enshrined in the Hall of Heroes. Ragnar Lothbrok, known for his daring raids and cunning mind, stands among the greatest. Bjorn Ironside, his fearless son, whose exploits echoed through the ages, and Sigurd, who slew the mighty dragon Fafnir, embodying the ultimate hero's journey. These warriors remind us that greatness is not just in the victory, but in the valor and determination that lead to it. Valhalla is more than a mythical hall. It symbolizes the Viking spirit, courage, honor, and the pursuit of glory. Its legacy endures in our modern culture, inspiring countless stories, movies, and games. The idea of an eternal reward for bravery resonates with us all. From the epic battles in blockbuster films to the intricate sagas in literature, Valhalla continues to capture our imagination. It reminds us of the timeless values of bravery, loyalty, and honor, and challenges us to live with the same spirit in our own lives. As we leave this hallowed hall, remember that Valhalla is not just a place but a testament to the enduring power of myth and the human desire for greatness. What would you do to earn your place among the heroes? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the realms of legend and lore. Now, brave viewers, it's your turn. Imagine you are a Viking warrior. What heroic deeds would you undertake to earn your place in Valhalla? Comment below, and let's celebrate our own modern tales of bravery and valor. Until next time, may your spirit be as fierce as the Vikings, and your heart as bold as their heroes.